Yo, it's Two Side Anime here, and today we have to talk about the two possible character deaths that might take place in the future chapter of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. Yes, I'm talking about chapter 20 and chapter 21. One of these two characters are going to die, and it's a coin flip between Konohamaru and Gaara, respected characters from the original OG cast. Arc is very important because their lives hang in the balance of this whole battle. Both characters are not walking away alive in this arc. One of these characters has to die, and it's mainly because of the plot of the story in 2 Blue Vortex. We've talked about a lot on this channel. In order for us to understand the awakened Senju's next level by them consuming their set targets, one of the four targets, Hema, Konohamaru, Sarada, and Ida, has to die. And the only character that fits this character death perfectly is Konohamaru. Let's just think about it for a second. We've already seen the Kazekage die in the old Naruto Shippuden. So it wouldn't really make sense for us to see Gaara die again. We know Gaara is in critical condition, but he's protected by Shinki's sand. The only way you can get to Gaara is by the death of Ryu. You remember at the beginning of the video I said there's two possible deaths that's going to happen in the next few chapters, and one is Konohamaru and the second is Ryu. But let's hold off on Ryu and let's just focus on Konohamaru. Once again, Konohamaru is the odd man out of the four characters that has to be absorbed by the plot so we can see the Senjus awaken their true power. I've said this a couple times on this channel. If you guys revisit the Konohamaru's incoming death video, I kind of explained like this is necessary. We need to see what happens when a Senju consumes their target. Ryu is too new to the series for him to go consume Gaara, and there's no way Boruto is going to allow Ryu to absorb Gaara. But chapter 19 introduced another factor that made it obvious that Konohamaru is going to be consumed. The masterpiece of a dialogue that Jura had with the other Senju about love and how they need to overcome love because it's a weakness. Jura witnessed during his battle against Hema, Inojin cast aside all his survival skills and tossed himself in front of Jura, in front of the beast, danger, to save Hema, all out of love. And I'm not for all the shipping nonsense, but just love as a comrade. Like, that's why he did it. He wanted to protect her. If you had a super 10 tails amp Shibai Cell mutant freak chasing you around, you would want to protect your friend. And that's just what Inojin did. That small event changed Jura's whole perspective on the concept of love, and he kind of looks at it like a disease or weakness to the humans. So he wants to avoid succumbing to that exact same weakness. And I'm not gonna lie, Jura is the antagonist that the Boruto series needed. And I have a video coming out explaining that. This character is just a breath of fresh air. But back to his dialogue, why is this so important? From the moment that the Moegi God Tree clone set her eyes on Konohamaru, she's been acting completely out of character. I know you guys are gonna say, Two Sides, you're chatting nonsense. How can a character with such little screen time can act out of character? Like, we've barely seen her do anything. The little amount of moments that we've received from the Moegi God Tree clone in the series, she has always stood on business. She's completely on her 10 toes when it comes to Jura's mission. For example, when we were first introduced to her character, she straight up disrespected Code, saying he's just a toy for everybody to play around with. He doesn't have a mind of his own. And she was just laughing at him. Like, the level of disrespect, bro, I would have offed her. That's just me. But Code, he's somebody different. Let's move on and talk about how one panel we see her zero diff our goat Gaara, had that man bleeding out his mouth and his chest. At the start of chapter 15, we see Gaara bleeding out his mouth with Shinki and his team encased in sand, and his goal was to transport him to get away from the Moegi God Tree clone. Masori literally said, hey, if you don't do something about that wound, you're gonna die. I don't think you have the luxury of being concerned about the kids behind you. Again, showcasing us how ruthless she is as a character. Fast forward into her meeting with Konohamaru. her character has completely changed. Even Ryu noticed the moment she set eyes on Konohamaru, she stopped acting like herself. Even now, at the climax of the conversation she's having with Konohamaru, we are seeing how her hidden feelings, her love for Konohamaru, is making her act like an immature child. She doesn't understand why she's not allowed to call Konohamaru that specific name. And it's so funny, and it's another masterclass example of Ikimoto and Kishimoto's writing, that they have Ida, the one girl that's obsessed with a man that does not love her, understand the feelings of the Senju, understanding Masori's perspective. It's just perfect. Masori reached the same conclusion that Jura reached when he found Hema and not Naruto. Hey, I'm just gonna have to consume you and figure out why I sense Naruto and you're not Naruto. Masori has to consume Konohamaru so she can finally grasp her feelings of love. And since the conversation right beforehand is about love, it only makes sense for her to consume Konohamaru. And that really plays into this whole dark metaphor for cannibalism, how to become truly one with somebody you love, you have to devour them. I'm not sure how Masori is going to consume Konohamaru. I don't even know what this process is going to be. If they just eat them, I wonder if they just become one organism and they latch on to target's body, kind of like Venom or Carnage. Like, nobody knows, and that's why it's very important that we get to see this process take place. So I'm sorry, Konohamaru, you're the odd man out. Rest in peace. But I'm pretty sure he's going to come back in the end. Let's move on to Ryu. Ryu's character is very important because Gaara has a fatal wound and he's encased in Shinki's sand. The only way for them to get Gaara out of Shinki's sand is by Ryu dying. And Ryu is going to die by the hands of Sarada and Sarada's MS. This debut for her MS ability is going to be very important. And I pray and I pray and I pray it's not the Amaterasu, because I'm literally going to throw my phone and get mad. I'm not going to lie and say I'm going to drop the series because I'm rocking with Boruto, Kagurabachi to the very end. But if Sarada has the Amaterasu, I'm going to fucking slander Ikimoto every day straight. Like, I'm just going to hop on live and just cook him every day. So Ryu is going to die. Since he's a fairly new Senju and he doesn't seem like he's a part of the original group, I feel like he's going to be the character to die first. And that's going to trigger Jura, and Konohamaru's death is going to trigger Boruto to enter the battlefield. Because if Masori awakens and she gets another power amp, there's gonna be nothing Sarada and Mitsuki. That's it for the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm gonna catch you guys next time.